Okay, guys, so in this video, we're going to talk about buying Apple stock after the split. So I'm actually showing you this latest stock chart using TradingView, and they haven't actually updated the software yet to reflect the price of Apple stock post split. So I'm only going to show you guys really quickly what the are. We're on Google Finance, and you can see that the post-split price is $124.81. So of course, I'm recording this video pre-market, guys. So what do I think about Apple stock after the split? Well, this isn't the first split that Apple has done. Apple has done several splits throughout the history of the company, and it really hasn't done anything to really affect the company as a whole. Usually, these companies they do stock splits for a number of reasons. Number one, a cheaper stock price just looks more attractive to retail investors and individual investors like you and me. A stock that's trading at $100 or so just looks better than a stock that's trading at $500 or $600. And the second reason these companies usually do this is for options change. So when you trade options, generally the more expensive the stock is, the more expensive the options are. So this is kind of the similar reasons why Tesla did a split, just to simply make the options cheaper. With Apple stock originally around like $500, get into options very expensive, and now that it's trading at around 100 or so, it's just much cheaper. In terms of the options chain. And then the third thing about buying Apple stock, I think, post split is simply because Apple is just a great company overall. So they're always coming out with new products. They're innovating. 15 years ago it was the iPod and things like that. Recently, I'm seeing a lot of people wearing AirPods. So it just seems like Apple continues to just innovate and come up with new inventions and just ways of consuming, electronics with their computers, with their phones, with their, wireless devices and things like that. I'm also starting to see a lot of smartwatches as well. So, it's 2020. I think we have a lot of trends that are moving forward in the future. Things like smartwatches, I think, and wireless headphone devices are kind of the two things that I've kind of seen most recently out here. And I've just seen a lot of people getting excited about these products. And I think smartwatches is really bullish because, over time, devices continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And with, just so many people out here. This is kind of the generation that doesn't really wear watches so much for like a traditional use. So, like the traditional watch, wristwatch just to tell time. But I think with smartwatches and things like that, I think there's a lot of potential in the future. So, why should you buy Apple stock after the split? Well, the simple thing is that the company is still intact and you're still going to maintain a same proportion of the company. And the fact is that a lot of people are going to be jumping into Apple stock now because a lot of people just looked at the price and said, "Oh, it's just too expensive. I can't even afford one share." Even though there are lots of brokerages out here that allow you to purchase fractional shares, some of them are like Robinhood, some of them are Fidelity does fractional shares. There's quite a few brokerages out here that support that. I just think most people kind of shy away from a stock if they feel like they can't afford one share. And I'll also talk about historical returns. So you guys, hope you guys. Okay, so if we take a look here in Morningstar, we can see here that this is a trailing returns on Apple. So all you have to do is go to Morningstar.com and type in AAPL and hit trailing returns. So Apple is obviously one of the best long-term performers out there. Over the last 15 years, doing about 33% per year. So, I don't expect this to change because of the stock split at all. You can see the stock is actually up 70% year to date and over 144% over the last year. So, as long as Apple's continue to be able to raise their products and be able to generate profits and things like that, I think that the stock is going to continue to soar higher. So, doing 33% basically ROI, compounded annual growth rate, year over year over the last 15 years is pretty strong. And actually, that number has increased quite a bit in the short run due to this whole kind of NASDAQ bullish run that we've been going on. And I think that this is an interesting time just in the American economy and in global economies kind of time frame because think of it like this, right? This is 2020 and with the whole pandemic situation going on, technology is just more important than ever and people are realizing that using devices from Apple, things like their computers and their phones, people are able to run multi-million dollar companies just from their iPhone or just from their MacBook. So these products aren't going anywhere, and they're only going to become more important in the future, I think, as more and more people kind of digitify, if that's a word, digify their business operations and in their personal life as well. So I wouldn't worry about buying Apple stock. I mean, for me personally, anything that's doing 33%, compounded annual growth per year is just get in, So I wouldn't. Apple is definitely not a company that you want to try to time or something like that. Yes, there are dips in the price, but they pay a nice dividend. You just want to basically own Apple. And also, of course, Warren Buffett's largest holding is Apple stock as well. So another good reason to do this. But guys, when I'm really looking at about buying stocks for the super long term, I love to look at these compounded annual growth rates. They really kind of simplify things. So I say yes, Apple is still a strong buy. It's a stock that I hold in my retirement portfolio. Obviously, it has a very big market cap right now, as we can see here. Market cap is 2.1 trillion. So the best time to have been the best time to buy Apple stock was probably 10 to 20 years ago. The second best time is to buy it right now. This is definitely a stock that you can rely on. And for me, this is a stock that I want to provide income for me when I choose to retire. I own the stock in my IRA. So I think it's a great stock for that. And for you guys out there that are wondering if this is a stock that has a lot of growth in the future, I think so. Time and time again, Apple has continued to surpass expectations. Their CEO, Tim Cook, is an awesome CEO. He was a great, he did great after Steve Jobs stepped down, and he really hasn't missed a beat. And he just seems to be really focused on delivering good products to the consumer. That's really what makes stock prices go up in the long run. Businesses that are just basically listening to their customers, innovating, and providing products and services that their customers like. It's really not rocket science. And I think Apple does a really good job at this. They've been in, they've been publicly traded for, a long time now, for decades and decades and decades. So this isn't like a stock that has, I think, a super ton of risk. It's the largest publicly traded company in the world. People love their products. Most Apple consumers would never buy another product. So I think Apple is a super one of the safest stocks out there. It probably should be in every investor's portfolio. And if there was one stock that I think if you wanted one stock to buy and you didn't want to buy any other stock, I think you can just put most of your money in Apple stock and you're going to do okay. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have, 50, 100%, 200% gains like you might have with Overstock.com or Zoom or Tesla, but you're not going to lose all your money buying Apple stock. So I think it's a very strong buy after the split. And another thing I think about Apple as well is that the fact that Apple is trying to keep that share price below $500. I would expect probably another stock split within the next 3 to 5 years as well, assuming things continue as they've gone. And Apple has continued to just churn away and post ridiculous profits. So even though the pandemic slowed things down in the short run, they bounced back quite nicely in their most recent quarter, guys. So I hope this provides some more explanation on what I think about Apple stock. Very strong buy after the split. And it's going to be really interesting to see how much further the stock is going to go. Like I said, it's up about 70% year to date. And I'm going to be making some more updated videos on where I think the price is going. Be sure to look out for my upcoming video on kind of the stock price prediction or where I think it's going in the future. But so that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. So be sure to smash that red subscribe button to receive more videos on Apple. And full disclosure, I am an Apple shareholder. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.